Overwhelm rarely arrives all at once. It doesn't kick the door down, it doesn't announce itself, it builds quietly while you're still functioning. Most people don't notice overwhelm because they're still getting things done. They're answering messages, they're showing up, they're coping. But coping isn't the same as capacity. In this video, I'll show you how overwhelm actually builds, the subtle signals most people miss, and how you can catch it before everything feels too much. This isn't about doing less. It's about understanding what your brain has been carrying without you realizing. People often say, I don't know what happened, I just suddenly felt overwhelmed. But overwhelm is almost never sudden. What's sudden is your awareness of it. The load was there long before the feeling arrived. Here's the trap. You're busy, but still capable. So you assume everything is fine. But busyness can mask overload, especially when you're competent. You care, you're used to pushing through. Functioning becomes camouflage. Overwhelm builds through accumulation, not intensity. Small things stack. Unanswered messages, unfinished tasks, decisions not yet made, ideas you'll come back to later. Each one stays open in the background. Your brain keeps track, even when you're not consciously thinking about them. Here's something important. An unfinished task isn't heavy because of the work. It's heavy because of the mental loop it creates. Every open loop requires monitoring. It requires remembering. It requires deciding later. That background monitoring drains capacity quietly. Your brain is very good at compensating. At first, it works faster, it narrows focus, it postpones rest, it relies on urgency. So you don't feel overwhelmed, you feel driven until compensation stops working. Another invisible contributor, decisions. Not big decisions, tiny, constant ones. Should I do this now or later? What should I respond to first? Is this the right next step? Each decision costs energy, and when decisions pile up, fatigue follows. As capacity drops, something changes. Your brain loses nuance. So instead of some things matter more than others, it switches to everything feels urgent. Urgency isn't clarity, it's a stress response. This is a key moment that most people miss. Thinking itself starts to feel uncomfortable. Planning feels heavy and difficult. Deciding feels risky. Reviewing feels exhausting. So you avoid depth and stick to reactive work. That's not procrastination, that's early overload. Overwhelm doesn't always stop action. Often it redirects it. You stay busy, you answer messages, you do low stakes tasks, but you avoid strategic thinking, important work, decisions with consequences. Overwhelm hides inside productivity. Here's the reframe from the momentum reset method. Overwhelm isn't a failure of effort. It's a signal that capacity has been exceeded, and signals are meant to be listened to, not overridden. When you ignore the signal, you push, you add pressure, you shorten timelines, you demand clarity. That just increases load and the signal gets louder. This is how overwhelm escalates into being frozen or burnout. Ask yourself, what am I keeping in my head instead of externalizing? What decisions keep getting postponed? What am I avoiding thinking about? Those answers reveal where load is accumulating. Most people try to think their way out of overwhelm, but thinking is the very thing that feels costly. Relief comes first. When pressure drops, clarity returns, thinking feels safer, momentum stabilizes. You don't create clarity, you remove what's blocking it. Here's a simple daily check-in. What's one thing that's been quietly weighing on me today? Naming it reduces load. You don't have to fix it immediately. Awareness alone helps. If overwhelm has been creeping up on you, you didn't miss a warning sign. You were compensating, and that means you're capable, not broken. Learning to notice earlier changes everything. Overwhelm doesn't arrive suddenly. It builds quietly, invisibly while you're still functioning. Learning how it builds gives you back choice before things reach breaking point. In the next videos, we'll look at how to reduce cognitive load, we'll talk about how to close loops gently, and how to restore momentum without pressure. And those videos, like this one, will be part of my Overwhelm playlist, which I will link up here somewhere and in the description. And if you want a structured way to apply this, my momentum reset method walks you through it step by step. There's a link in the description. I encourage you to go and check it out. Look, you don't need more resilience. You need less load.